Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a mukbang. So actually for this video, you guys, I will be talking over most of the video just because the background sound was messed up due to like some construction happening in the background of my video. So I'm going to be explaining certain things at the end of the video. I got my food from Spice Room. I think that was Spice Room. I'm going to be leaving their name somewhere on the screen. And today I got some Indian food because last time I did get Indian cuisine, but I was doing a vlog. So this time I actually have the food's name with me and the price. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Look, bitch, smooth criminal, Mike Jack, and I still like to toe the full fat. Okay, so the drink that I got was lassi and it's mango, and the entree was a curry or chicken curry and it's medium, so it's not too spicy and not too hot. And then I got a garlic naan as well because last time I got a garlic naan from the other place and it tastes really good together, and I like the chicken curry. So this is a new place. I'm gonna rate it like kind of like 4 rating because I literally got my food and I got it taken from I got my food so I could bring it with me from home, and it already the bag had ripped open, so the food got everywhere and it just stained my floor. So I'm gonna rate it that because of that. Also because I got like a big garlic naan, but like the curry bowl they gave me was very tiny, so it was $29, you guys. So that really, I don't like how it's like really pricey, but you only get like a small portion, but it is cooked like naturally, so I think that's why their prices are very, very high. I'm gonna show you guys how everything looks because I had to take out the curry and put it in a different bowl. This is how the naan looked. They literally gave me a huge piece of naan, and naan is just really just a piece of bread, and I asked for garlic, so they gave me garlic naan. They also gave me curry. This is how my curry looks. It smells really good actually. And then they give me some rice. I'm not going to show you the rice because the rice, actually I'm going to show you the rice. Literally the whole curry spilled out and it was in this little bowl, so it barely has anything left, as y'all can see. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about things that have been happening in the TikTok community and things that have been happening off the TikTok community, and kind of like just racial things as well. I'm gonna first try this curry and see how it tastes before I do anything. Thank you, Jesus, for my food. Amen. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna be dipping it in with the garlic naan, or yeah, garlic naan. I'm gonna dip it into the curry because might as well. Ready? It's definitely a little tangy, but it tastes really good. It tastes like lemons and stuff. I love Indian food. If you haven't noticed that, I definitely buy it a lot. It's super spicy. So if you cannot handle spice, I wouldn't get a medium because it's super spicy, even at a medium. But it's super good. I got water. I know I eat differently from a lot of people, but this is how I eat, y'all. Ooh. Okay, so I feel like a lot of crazy stuff been happening in I don't know, I want to say 1 month span or 2 month span. And the first thing I want to talk about is this movie that they put on Netflix that they rebooted. And I just wanted to make a disclaimer, you guys. I did do more research and I didn't just watch these things. I did do research and actually looked into what happened. And so yes, it was called The Good Times, an old cartoon, actually an old show that they made into a cartoon on Netflix.
Every stereotype you can think about being black, I see it right there in that trailer, and this is what the show would be. Well, the dad in this the trailer, overweight, because you know black people, we can't control our appetites. We all have diabetes. We're all fat. What about the struggle? Since we're black, there's always a struggle being black. And she says the struggle will be there tomorrow. Instead of calling this Good Times, like this is a reboot, because I think to me this makes a mockery of Good Times. What the show essentially was about family and coming together. And it was struggle love on Good Times, but the essence of the show was truly about family and bettering and education and getting out of poverty. It was a whole bunch of struggle, but it's just, you know what I mean? There's more to it. There's more layers to the show. But knowing that Netflix decided to make a reboot of the Good Times.
But the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because I felt like that show was really like very disrespectful, and it just looks like stereotypes. And the problem with that show is, if you look it up and if you search it up, a lot of people will be telling you guys it's stereotypes, but if you watch it yourself, you'll see that it's like microaggressions and stereotypes. And pretty much they had said that like a white man had actually made that show and like put it out there. A lot of people didn't get to review it on YouTube, and I'll be putting clips in here so like y'all can actually hear it. They didn't actually get to review it, and also the people that reviewed it, I'm pretty sure they did not want that show to come out because a lot of people are going to be looking at people like how the show is trying to depict them.
Let me start with this. Some of you may know that people who review movies and TV shows sometimes get early access to the content. The studios want critics, journalists to get their hands on this stuff so they can talk about it and create a little buzz. The process is very simple. Let's take Netflix, for example. I'll look at what they got coming out. Maybe I saw a trailer or something like that, and I reach out and I say, excuse me, Netflix, I'll be interested in watching XYZ show or XYZ movie a little earlier. And they could say yes, or they could say no, but it ain't no beef. So I watched that Good Times trailer, and believe it or not, I asked for the screeners. And I know a lot of other YouTubers were saying that they were going to refuse to watch this show, but I'm doing it for the people, for the greater good. Anyway, so I reached out to the Good Times folks and I was like, excuse me, Good Times folks, could you guys please maybe send me the screeners of this Good Times cartoon show? And they immediately told me no. Now, there's two things with that. Number one, not all no's are created equal. A no for Tate's Take could be a hell yes for another journalist or another critic. But I read somewhere that another, writer was like, they reached out for screeners and they also told them no. So I got a little clue that maybe it wasn't just me. Number two, a lot of the times people in the business think when studios refuse to give out screeners or they give them out super late.
And so I'm gonna rate that show a 0. The graphics were pretty good, but like it was very weird to me. Like it kind of gave me really bad vibes. Like,
Good Times was a TV show from the 1970s about a family called the Evans who lived in a poor neighborhood in Chicago. The show was funny but also serious, talking about things like being poor, facing racism, and dealing with other tough situations. It was popular because it showed real life struggles. But now, we find out that these themes, while they may still be explored, many people are now skeptical because of two things. Seth MacFarlane, who is most known for creating Family Guy and American Dad, is one of the executive producers of the show. Many people's problems with him is that he has a history of being unable to write all that well for people of color, as evident by writings in The Cleveland Show, which was criticized for relying too heavily on stereotypes and lacking the sharp wit of Family Guy. And second is a trailer that gives off the energy of disrespect and distaste because they turned a show about strong, hardworking families into a cartoon that makes fun of Black American culture. They try to make it seem like it was still good times, but it's really not.
The biggest problem with this is that it is called Good Times. It has nothing to do with that original show right there, other than they live in the projects and they're Black. This is the kind of shit you get if you don't speak up for yourself. And you get Black people doing it. You get Black people brought into it thinking this is good to put out there. The entertainment business, we still see ourselves mostly for our hood stories, our struggle stories, and for our stereotypes. Things are changing, but those images are still what the rest of the world sees from us. This is going to go to Japan. This is going to go to Europe. This is what they're going to see, and this is what they're going to about us. And I know this because I've heard people tell me to my face.
I don't know. Like a lot of the scenes where the dad was naked, that was weird to me around the kids, and then how it just had like certain This clips in it. The reason why I wanted to bring it up because I feel like they need to take it off of Netflix, because why would y'all even push something out like that? I also wanted just to say that I don't think the whole Black community condones this type of behavior, and I know that mostly probably a lot of people haven't seen the Netflix show already, but I do think that certain parts that I do feel like certain type of people inside of the Black community can condone this type of behavior, or can say that people are not stereotyping or are just not trying to appropriate certain type of behaviors, when in all entirety there's a lot of things that's happening in the world that suggest otherwise. I literally watched it all the way through because I was like, okay, like I think it was going to be something fun and interesting to watch, but all it was stereotypes on stereotypes on stereotypes on microaggressions on. It did talk about certain things in there, but the way they went about like talking about certain scenarios was really bad. So if y'all haven't watched that, don't watch it. I'm already gonna tell y'all it's bad, and also because I don't want people to watch it and then it brings more like publicity to that show, so Netflix could buy more episodes to it, because it was a horrible show. Next thing we're gonna talk about, I guess I'm just giving my reviews on stuff. Next thing I wanted to talk about was these Nara braids. How do you explain it? I'm gonna say her name wrong, but y'all know I'm not really good at saying names. Nara braids. It was pretty much a mixed girl or mixed female who does like housewife, who like cooks and stuff. And correct me if I'm wrong, but there was nothing wrong with her getting those braids, because she explained it in her video that she had a very sensitive scalp and everything like that.
Today is hair braiding day, so let's get ready to go get some box braids. This is my hair routine. I wash my hair every 2 weeks with the shampoo and then go in with this keratin treatment. Let that sit in my hair for a few minutes, rinse that out, and then scrub my scalp. Before I go in with a deep conditioner, I like to make sure that my hair is just really, really clean, but also hydrated. And then I go in with a few other products after I've gotten out the shower. One of the things I hate doing is my hair. I don't know what it is. It hurts my arm. It's not fun. So Lucky offered to do my hair for me and blow it all out. People seem to think that I hate my curly hair or that I want to be more white by doing this. I don't. I used to have really, really bad eczema on my scalp, which caused me to lose a bunch of hair, constantly be flaky. So in order for me to feel confident, I decided to chop it all off and wear a style that would cover up the front of my hair, which is why I also haven't gotten braids in almost 2 years now, because my scalp wouldn't have been able to handle it. But now, being pregnant, my eczema has not flared up in 9 months, which is great. So I decided to get some knotless braids for this baby's birth. I just don't want to be dealing with washing my hair or combing it out or doing anything. So I always get braids or a different protective style before I go into labor or go on holiday. And 10 hours later, we were done. And yes, my butt hurt, but it was totally worth it.
As you guys can see in that video, she was getting her hair braided in knotless braids because she's about to have a baby, and she wants to just put that in because she finds it difficult to have to maintain her hair while dealing with a newborn and getting ready for labor and stuff like that, which a lot of Black women can relate.
But the problem came into play when it got stitched by this other female. I think her name was Anna. I might be wrong, but I'll be inserting videos.
I physically cannot. My entire dream since I was a little girl is to have my hair braided like this, and I have not been able to do it, but I don't think you guys understand. Like, I am obsessed. I think it is the most beautiful hairstyle in the entire world. When I was younger and I would go on any kind of tropical vacation at the beach, the first stop, like literally we would land before dinner, first stop was to get my hair braided. Obviously, it's the most beautiful thing, but it's also so practical, and I don't think you understand. Anyone who doesn't have curly hair will not get this. I'm not allowed to go near the water. Like, my head anywhere near the water, if my hair even sniffs the ocean, poof, month over, year over, like my hair, it can't handle it. I live 10 feet away from the ocean and I can't go swimming. I know it's not the most attractive thing, but when you get out of the shower, instead of trying to dry your hair in a regular towel, which can be really heavy, tugging, and damaging, put your hair instead in an old t-shirt. It's going to do a lot better job of actually absorbing the water, and it's going to be lighter and much less damaging on your hair. That way, when you do end up taking it out, you can see that my hair is almost like 50% dry already. It's only gonna take me like an hour to blow dry instead of closer to 2 hours. Also, I just got keratin recently, so that's why it's like a little bit more manageable than sometimes, but yeah, it's like super dry already.
And she pretty much called them the 9-hour braids. The 9-hour braids were feed-in braids, you guys, and box braids. Ira said it herself. I don't know why the other girl has stitched it and made it into like Nara braids.
To all of the people that are telling this white woman to come on TikTok wearing Nara Smith braids, and if you don't know what Nara Smith braids are, they are box braids that this white woman saw Nara Smith wearing, so she called them Nara Smith braids. Which is already annoying because it only takes one white person to change the name of something that they like in a black culture, something already that has a name, that has a category, that has everything already. But it only takes one white person to change the name, and ever since then it'll be named whatever that white person named it. Like, if it's gonna be trending, it's probably gonna be trending under Nara Smith braids. Oh my goodness, Nara Smith braids. And it always sets us back 17 years, okay? But anyways, that's already annoying in itself. But to you black people in her comments telling her to come on this app wearing the braids, you are setting this woman up for failure. No matter how genuine or good intention your messages are, it doesn't matter how you feel about white people wearing cultural hairstyles or black hairstyles. You know that if she comes on this app, she's going to get like eaten. Like, she's going to be eaten alive.
The fact that we have to keep having this conversation is actually sad, but it kind of makes sense because it doesn't seem like the point is getting across the way that the point needs to get across. Let me just lay it out for the white girls real quick. Respectfully, nobody cares how you do your hair. You want to do bantu knots, box braids, dreadlocks, whatever it is, that's your business. Nobody cares. But I think you know that. No, the problem is not the style in itself. The problem has and always will be the double standards of those styles. And while we're at it, let's just go ahead and throw in all of the ways in which non-black women steal and mimic black women, but never give any of the credit. Let's clock it. Cause not a single one of y'all is gonna stand up and call out that white girl for making that abusive video. Because that's exactly what it was. That was not a video that was just, oh, I just want to know, like, can I do this? Like, is this okay? Are people gonna be? No, that was her way of trying to be harmful to black women. But y'all are gonna pretend like you don't see that. Just know that there is a problem, but the problem goes far beyond box braids, BBLs, and black scent. That's just a mere symptom of the problem. No, because the problem is systemic racism. And that little stunt you pull, the stunt that all y'all little non-black girls try to pull and have been pulling, that's your way of perpetuating said systemic racism because it benefits you. It emboldens you and it makes you feel good to know that you're just not black. But to move around the way that you do, knowing that in the world, in America, there is an unspoken belief system that black looks better on non-black women, you know the game that you're playing. You know what you're doing. It's the constant degradation and dehumanization of black women while simultaneously trying to be one for me. Like, your natural hair, the way that it grows out of your head is not being questioned, but y'all want to play about it. Okay. The way that people negatively talk about black women is crazy work. But the way that the uplifting of black women is merely a trend, while the uplifting of every other group of women, especially white women, is just the standard, is crazier work. But the absurd work is in the fact that white women specifically are quite literally the beauty standard, and they still have to go out of their way to put down the group of women that is negatively talked about the absolute most in the entire world, the black woman.
See, I'm all the way here in Nigeria and I'm irritated by that video. So I'm just imagining how it is for my African American sisters who have to deal with this regularly. Now, this is not even about a palm-colored woman wanting to make box braids. At this point, I'm even over us trying to educate palm-colored women on why box braids might not be the best choice of braids for them. Black women have never said don't wear braids, but all we have said is there are braids that can work for your hair texture as a palm-colored person who probably has straight hair or looser, way looser curls, just like this white woman. And we've encouraged them to do those other braid hairstyles. And we've also told them if you want to get box braids, it's cultural appropriation and it could actually damage your hair. These are the major things I see black women say in response to white women who want to wear box braids. And at the end of the day, it's their choice. You know, to me, it seems like these people try to insert themselves into everything. The discussions around curly hair and hair types became a thing when a lot of black women started accepting their natural hair and the whole natural movement became popular. We classified our hair with the hair chart. If you're not familiar, this is the hair chart. So a lot of black women have type 4 hair. We have the type 4A, 4B, 4C, and then there's a 3A, 3B, 3C, 2A, BC, 1A, BC, just, like that. And that chart is commonly used by black women. So this lady in this video saying that she has an A3 hair just made me roll my eyes so deep that my eyeballs almost got stuck in the back of my head, you guys. Like,
and then a lot of people in the comment sections were being... Now, before I keep going, I just want to let you guys know I am very inclusive when it comes to hair and hair types. And if you haven't, go back and watch my TikToks. A lot of TikToks, I try to make it as inclusive as possible because I like different people watching my video. And also, I like to learn different hair types, textures, different type of hair, you guys. But however, I'm going to correct myself. Her name was Isabel. Her hair is wavy. It is not curly. I should know this because I am a cosmetology student. I go to actual hair school, so I learn a lot about hair every single day. And also, her hair is pretty fine. If you can tell, her hair is finer than someone who has coarse or coily hair. And if you don't know what coarse and coily hair, please use the link in my bio because I already went over what coarse and coily hair is. Her hair is fine, just like my hair is pretty fine. You can have thicker hair and have fine hair. Even when I get braids, you guys, I have a very sensitive scalp. My hair does tend to be very sensitive towards the braids. So when we tell you guys, or when we tell different groups around the world, maybe try a different hairstyle other than tight braids. The braids that we talk about are like box braids or just very cultural, in-depth braids or hairstyle. It's because we are trying to protect you from losing your hair. Because even me, I can lose a good amount of hair with braids. And also, if you haven't seen a lot of videos, anyone's hair that is pretty fine, even if it's thicker hair, can thin out. And that's why after you wear your hair, after a lot of people wear their hair after 3 months, we have to leave it into a protective hairstyle because of that thinning out process. Like, I don't see why it's a big deal, blah, 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 blah. It's a big deal because these braids are something in depth in culture. Everyone knows they're box braids. I'm pretty sure most of the population have seen somebody with feed-in braids or box braids, but I'm gonna start videos of people actually saying this because I feel like it's very, very important.
Okay, but are you insane? You know that she's literally just trying to get people angry. Like, she knows exactly what she's doing because there's no possible way she's actually thinking that it's okay to do box braids. The fact that you couldn't even bother to learn that it's called box braids, and the fact that cornrows or braids has so much history behind it. You're just like, you know, my curly hair. What curly hair? Is the curly hair in the room with us? Because I really cannot see past your 1A type hair. It makes no sense to me. Stop trying to make people angry because that's exactly what you're trying to do. You knew what you were doing. You were doing it for views. You were doing it for engagement. Was it worth it? I really hope you take a break, a seat, and reflect. Cause wow. Okay.
I'm not even gonna mention her wanting to get box braids because if them people want to get braids and ruin their hair, I don't care. To sit on here and first. Okay, so she started the video with when she goes on a tropical vacation, she always gets it, and then ends the video with, so can I get it or not? Have you gotten it done or not? What is your angle? Like, and then her saying she can't get in the water.
So there's a lot of people mad right now because of my hairstyle, and they're saying that it's only black culture. And let me just start off saying I am from Oaxaca, that it's a more indigenous part of Mexico, which you should already know by my name, which is the Aztec goddess. And what really irks my soul is that TikTok got so comfortable bullying Hispanic people out of their culture and making them feel bad for wearing braids. Like, I hope you guys know that braids are also Native Americans' culture and not just black people's culture or African culture. Yes, it's their culture, but not only theirs.
Girl, I understand and I totally agree with everything that you said. It's part of your culture, so don't let this ignorant people bully you out of enjoying what's part of your culture.
There's this creator right here who loves Mexican cultures and even wears our cultural dresses. because she said she loves the Hispanic culture and loves everything about us. She's even fluent in Spanish. In her comments, there's nothing but love. Do you see this? Nothing but love from the Hispanic community.
And again, this is a whole nother topic that people fail to remember, that there is an Afro-Latin community inside of Latin communities. And however, I'm not going to speak on it because I am not a part of the Afro-Latin community or the Latin community. But if you do want to answer that question, just please reread your history. I just feel like a lot of people fail to remember that there is a history book. So I'm definitely going to insert links down below and just different information that I feel like is very important. So to discriminate people is to treat people differently or less than. Kinky hair and natural hair was never really accepted until like the early 1600s, I believe, or 1700s, if that. And if you really look at today's culture, we really aren't accepted with our hair type as well still today. But if you really are interested, just read these and learn more with the links.
You have, in fact, reached the wrong audience. She states that white people are constantly asking black people what they can and cannot do. Who set up that rule? Who's the one that set up the culture and environment that led to white people asking those sorts of questions? Victimhood black people who told them that anything they do that involves blackness, they must get permission for. White people are coming to you to ask those questions because they're scared of being called a racist, even though when they ask the questions, they're called a racist anyway. And I love the fact that she glossed over what is the very real criticism that she has a damn near bone straight sew-in on her head. Is bone straight hair typical for black people? And she says, I get criticism for having the sew-in in, and white people don't get criticism for having their braids. The reason you get criticism is because you function as a gatekeeper. You are the one who is doling out judgment to people who decide to change their hairstyle. And because of that, you get judgment in return because you are a hypocrite.
So I know you're probably wondering if this lady is serious. I don't know, but I don't know if you guys are really interested in learning that question. Just read these, please. I don't know. I feel like we forget about Jim Crow laws and just all the bad parts of history, but we're not trying to relive in it, but people, I guess, keep bringing it up and keep wondering why and where it came from. But you know, I don't know.
Now, just a little bit of background here. This girl was responding to a popular mixed race influencer by the name of Nara Smith, who decided to put braids in her hair. Of course, Nara Smith is mixed race, so that is allowed. But this white girl decided to ask the question, is it okay if I put braids in my hair? So did you guys hear anything triggering there? Did you hear anything racist there? If not, you're normal, but people decided to go off on this girl saying to previous discrimination is not current discrimination. You shouldn't gatekeep and bar people from being able to participate in your culture because you were once denigrated for participating in that culture. It doesn't make sense. If anything, more people choosing to adopt box braids or dreads.
You guys know I have to incorporate everybody, so I'm just letting her tell her side of how she feels, because this is some of the black people in the comments or in just different posts who say these things are okay. But however, I just want to say, you guys can have the word dreads or dreadlocks. I do not have dreadlocks. My black people do not have dreadlocks. Personally, I feel like we have wigs and locks, because if you reread on what dreads stand for or what dreadlocks stand for, you would not be saying dreadlocks, you guys. If you are wondering what I meant by that, quickly read this, quickly read over these 2 or 3 little slides that I have, and we'll get back into what she was saying, you guys, because I'm just appalled.
Makes society more accommodating. I know people don't want to hear that because they don't want to hear that white people are the reason that something became accepted. But here we are, and we live in a world where, let's be honest, not that many black people are facing discrimination because of their hair. We know that that's not the case. Be so for real right now. And while you can bring me stories of kids being kicked out of school for certain hairstyles or people suing companies because they feel like they were fired over their hair, these are individual instances and they go viral because our society generally agrees that it's absolutely ridiculous to place those sort of constraints on people.
The reason why I wanted to bring it to y'all attention is because I just want to let y'all know those are box braids that might have just a little bit of feed in with them. Braids, and that was not okay for her to just, they are not Naira braids, and that wasn't okay for her to just make them into another thing. That's all I have to really say about that. And then also when she was saying like she felt like, also when the girl had said she felt like a fish, that's really weird to me. And the only reason why I found that weird is because a lot of cartoons that black characters play in, we are considered like fish, or like we're considered animals more than we're considered people in the actual movies. So that's where I feel like a lot of people were caught off guard, or were like, this is not okay. And her hair is literally like wavy to straight. She does not have curly hair, you guys. So don't try to like justify that. Be very like not cool to say. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time, bye you guys.